are recording this, so people who could not attend will be able to hear what's going on. And since we were not able to meet together in Phoenix, we weren't really able to have a good kickoff on what we wanted to do and hear ideas, or even talk about how we were going to start this new section. So I am Lois Swisher. I am the inaugural chair, and thank you so much for letting me have this wonderful opportunity to build an amazing section. We've done a lot, despite a pandemic and not being able to be together, to build a section. So I am going to share my screen here. I think. There we go. So welcome to our town hall. And I want to give you some of the numbers as best as I know right now. We have 882 total members, of which 412 are full voting members. And that gives us the biggest section. I think now on total numbers, we may be biggest section, but for some time we have been the biggest section within AAEM of FAAM YPS members, separate from RSA. So that's an incredible amount of people. And we certainly want to know more that what we can do for our junior and mid-level faculty that are trying to figure out their way, either at their own place or in national organized medicine. We have 88 associates, 31 fellows, 279 students, 9 internationals, 40 residents, of which 4 of those are internationals, and then there's a few other categories. So I know that doesn't all add up to 882, but this is a pretty impressive group of numbers that we have. I know we have a little bit more that we can do with residents. Before we had a really big push with RSA, I wanted to make sure that we had some of our leadership in place and that we had a vision of what we were going to do and some initiatives. So I'd like to introduce you to council. We have some of the members here, but as this is an emergency medicine, not everybody could be here. Some are out working right now. And let me stop sharing my screen so Bonzella Bryant can introduce herself as our chair-elect. You're mute. Still mute. Still mute.
Still.
There
we go. I kept tapping. What are you going to do? But yes, I'm Bonzella Bryant. I'm the chair-elect, and I'm so excited to be a part of the Women in Emergency Medicine section. There's just so much talent in our executive group right now that I feel that we're going to spread this energy and spread our knowledge and share our talents just to help build each other up. So I'm so excited about being in our section, and here we go.
Thank you. Patty, do you want to introduce yourself next?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Patty Panakis. I'm coming from Miami. And I just wanted to say I'm really proud, like Bonzella already mentioned, to be part of the section and to really get a lot of the projects started and involvement within all the different members. So there's a lot of things that we've accomplished this year, but there's so much more to do. So we're really excited to get more of the section members really involved. And we're really stoked to really help each other grow in whatever way that means to you and really promote each other's success.
Great. And Patty's been doing a lot even before we were a section in trying to help with some of the communications and social media. So really thank you for doing all you've done so far. Rupal?
Hi, everyone. My name is Rupal. I work right outside of Washington, D.C., part of the Maryland system. It's so good to meet everyone virtually. Currently, I'm working on developing the WiEM mentorship program, as that is one of my greatest interests, and I think a great potential and power of women getting together and supporting one another at various stages of our career. If you're still interested in joining our mentorship program, either as a mentor or a mentee, it's not too late. This is a rolling kind of program, and I really look forward to hopefully seeing everyone at the next scientific assembly, and looking forward to all of the progress this year.
Great. And I would like to add that the mentoring program has started. Rupal and Priya Galani have been putting together pairs and have been sending out emails to people. And it's really been a great project trying to put people together. So really great job. Sarah, Dr. Sarah Mistel, who works with me.
Hi, Lois. I'm excited to be here. My name's Sarah. I am from Philadelphia, working with Lois. I have been able to be involved with the Img Mentoring Series, which you guys have graciously supported. And we do about a monthly webinar to help students apply, foreign medical grads who are interested in EM, try to give them some tips and tricks. We've had residents on the panel and program directors and APDs, and Patty's been on the panel. So it's been really successful. We have another one coming up October 22nd, and we're looking for a program director or an APD. So if anyone's interested, I'd be happy to work with you. So thanks for having me.
That has been a tremendously successful program, and we've now had several sessions, so thank you very much. Danielle, can you introduce yourself? Yep.
Hi, everybody. I'm Danielle Goodrich. Sorry for jumping on a little late. Just got out of work. I work in Los Angeles at Los Angeles Medical Center, which is a Kaiser, part of the Kaiser family of hospitals. Looking forward to kind of working with you all. And part of my role on the committee will be kind of arranging and help to manage our scientific assembly programming, working on our luncheon, and hopefully, if it's in person, some more events. Looking forward to seeing you guys there, and if not, we will have some virtual programming as well.
Absolutely. And so we do have the new date in June, and looking to work with the meeting coordinator about having a luncheon if this is going to be in person. So you have a lot of work coming up, Danielle. Thank you. And Caitlin?
Hi, everybody. My name is Caitlin Hack. I'm one of the chief residents at Georgetown University and Washington Hospital Center's EM program in Washington, D.C. Sorry, I can't have my camera on right now. I'm in the middle of my helicopter EMS shift still. But I am the resident student association representative for the Women in Emergency Medicine section of AAEM. And some of my interests and things that I'm hoping to work on is looking at women in the military and emergency medicine, and sort of developing a mentoring program for women in the armed forces who are also interested in emergency medicine, and developing some networking opportunities there.
Well, thank you for participating from your helicopter EMS rotation. Definitely sounds like an exciting thing, and a commitment to being with us too. So thank you very much. And
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yes, absolutely. And reaching out to women in the military is definitely something that is an area that I'm interested in finding out how to support better. So this is a great thing. So of our council who is not here, Liz Calhoun is our secretary treasurer, and she was not able to be here tonight, but she's been very involved in some of the strategic vision and how we're going to be able to move forward in communication plans. So she's been very, very active as well. We have two of our immediate past co-chairs from the committee that helped us move to the section, Vicki Norton and Faith Quinzer, who have been incredibly helpful in moving us forward here. So going back to, so that is our council. And one of the things that was suggested was that we develop a vision statement. And I thought that that was really important going forward as a section, to be able to say what we were hoping to do and what we were hoping to accomplish. So this is the vision statement which council had worked on and has approved. I wanted to share it with the group. Certainly any feedback is important, but these are where we hope we would be going. So our vision statement is the AAEM Women in Emergency Medicine section is comprised of members identifying across the gender spectrum. And it is our mission to advocate for measures to reduce or eliminate gender-related bias, including gender parity in salary and equity within promotions. Aim to provide increased leadership opportunities within AAEM and the Women in Emergency Medicine section. Recognize and amplify the accomplishments of women. Provide gender-specific resources and professional advancement, work-life balance, and different career trajectories. Commit to providing greater depth of professional connections and mentorship across the career timeline. And I think we're really looking at a vision to do this. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was an introduction to our working group. And I should also have introduced Yemity, who is on our call here. It's our staff liaison who has worked an incredible amount to bring this section to where we are. Yemity, are you able to tell me if anybody from the leadership of education advocacy or leadership are on right now?
I believe Dr. Estes is on. And that is all I'm seeing right now.
Okay. So since we don't have everyone on, I will just mention about the working groups. We have 3 working groups on education, advocacy, and leadership, and this is going to be our pillars. Each group has started, it has a lead and a co-lead. Each of the positions is for 1 year and it's automatic succession. So after a year of position, you automatically move from co-lead to lead. I'm sorry. So right now our groups have started forming and they are not large because we didn't get a whole lot of response initially, but they have been working incredibly hard and have already started to have a vision in mind. So like the mentorship, there is going to be rolling admission to the working groups. If you have an interest in any one of these, you could certainly join from the website, put in your interest, the Women in Emergency Medicine section website, that you want to join one of them. In our next town hall, we can talk more about that. So I wanted to mention a little bit about the initiatives that we've had so far. You might have noticed that you've been getting monthly newsletters of what our section has been doing. If you have not been getting those, please let the council know. The idea of this is we want you to know what we are doing for the women in AAEM. And we also want to spotlight our members. One of the things that we had in our vision was to amplify the accomplishments that are going on. So if there's something that you know, a journal article, somebody who's promoted, somebody who is taking a new leadership role in their hospital within AAEM, please let us know so we can highlight that. And it's also important, the leadership group is looking at the awards that women get. One of the things I found, it's hard to know, even in AAEM, what people are doing and what we should highlight. So if we know more, we can spread what the accomplishments are. The second thing I want to bring up is the AMWA benefit. And if you don't know, once you become a member of the Women in Emergency Medicine section, you can sign up for free to become a non-voting member of AMWA. I thought that this was really important because we're a new section. We don't have the depth of resources. We don't have all the mentoring ability and the connections. So to have the ability to have the resources right away, AMWA has been around for more than 100 years. They have gender equity initiatives. They have diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, leadership opportunities, and even as a non-voting member, you can become a committee member there, you can take leadership, and this is another pathway for our women in emergency medicine to become leaders in the entire house of medicine. So please take advantage of that. That will be again highlighted in the October newsletter coming out next week. I think it's a great thing. I will say that several initiatives that have come out of the people here, Angie Carrick and I have worked with the NPSA Day, which has been taken by AMWA. They have started a licensure questions, reframing licensure questions with mental health issues. So every single state is in compliance with the ADA, and that initiative just kicked off a few months ago. So if any of these type of initiatives are interest, that is building right as we are starting now. I will let Sarah talk another minute here for the IMG virtual mentoring. What are the things that you've done and how has that gone along?
So we've had about 3 of these mentoring sessions. The first one was just us kind of, doing just a regular panel about people who have matched in emergency medicine from IMG. And then we kind of have been tackling topics one by one each month, how to choose a program. This month we're doing interview tips and tricks, anything that we can do to kind of make this path a little easier for the IMG. This year is very difficult for everybody because of COVID and virtually anyway. So it is a little difficult to kind of help everyone navigate through a system that really no one knows what's going on right now. But anything we can do to make it a little easier for our foreign medical grads is really appreciated. And I'm a foreign medical grad, and I know I would have loved this going through the whole process. So it's been really rewarding. We've gotten to work with multiple different residents that have matched, a bunch of different program directors and APDs. I'm just really happy that people want to give their time for this, and I know that it's been very well received.
Thank you so much. I do agree it's been very well received, and I do love that we are able to support our students. Another aspect of this is the women emergency medicine docs that are providing the panel. We also have guys that have come on our panel and are part of the section that are supporting women trying to advance in this specialty. So I think it's not only the students, but we're giving the opportunity for Sarah and her co-lead, Joelle Brown, are designing these, reaching out to people, creating the program themselves, and have that opportunity to have that leadership and to highlight other people. So far, I think we have not repeated any panelists.
Not yet, no.
3 sections, is that right, Sarah?
That's very true.
And we have coming residents. For me, the power of this is to be able to give people that may not have had a chance on stage, as chance in spotlight, but have real significant things to share, the opportunity to share. And we started with IMGs, but that's not where I want to stop. I thought that that would be a group that would be forgiving of any of the missteps as we sort of found a pathway, and that has been true. Now that we have a pathway, this can be true for, we can create programs for osteopathic docs. And there's been, particularly over the last couple of weeks with the president and the president's doctor, some friction of what an osteopathic doctor is. And it's good to support people when there's a little bit of insecurity, or maybe that feeling that you're not measuring up, as we've seen some of the tweets come out between DOs and MDs, and what does that mean? And I think that's important. The mothers, We have some people that are going through pregnancy, delivering kids, this time of COVID, the young families, how you deal with it. Many women are seeing their career trajectory level down. It's not as steep as it was before because they're taking more of a role at home. And there may be a role of us having support groups for mothers who are very early in the peripartum period, or young mothers who are struggling with schooling at home, just to have that support. If there's any ideas that you have, I would really appreciate that coming forward. I think there's a lot of power that we have in this large number of 800 women supporting each other. Our next thing was the mentoring program that has started. Rupal, do you want to talk a little bit more about that? I know you talked a little bit.
Sure. So like you had mentioned, Lois, we're still in the process of reaching out to all of the pairs. I did look through the participant list, and thank you. I do recognize a lot of these names, so thank you to everyone that has agreed to serve as a mentor, potentially as a mentor to more than one mentee, and also for being open to being matched with a mentor as well. So currently it was a very detailed process. We are, using Lois's expertise in forming connections with many of our members. And matching people not just based on the information that we received in the form on what your interest might be, whether it's critical care, whether it's ultrasound, med ed, but also just using your social media presence to get a little bit more of an understanding of sort of where you are in your career and what your interests are, and trying to make the best matches possible. I think the most important thing that I want to emphasize is that this program is hopefully going to be year-long. Our goal is not only just to stop the mentorship program at making the match, but hopefully to invite mentor and mentee pairs to connect throughout the year through various programs, potentially through virtual mentoring sessions, such as the IMG virtual mentoring session that's already been started, something similar to that.
Thank you very much. I think that's going really well, and I applaud you for doing all the work to put these mentors together with such considered thought. So thank you.
It wouldn't be possible without you. Thank you, Lois.
Well, thank you. I do like people and connecting with them, which goes right into the next thing, the leadership pipeline. On the last newsletter pipeline, I want to know who wants to take a role and may not be as sure if they have the time, what is required. They just want to talk to somebody, that this is a way to say, hey, I might be interested in something, and give that little extra push one way or another. So this year, when there was the elections for council, most of the positions were unopposed. And that we have so many good women that can do so many good things. This year, I would like more people to say that they're interested in running, to consider being part of council. If you're not sure, ask what's involved. Maybe it's not council that you want to be on. Maybe you want to be involved in a working group. I think that one of the things that's a problem is we don't say exactly what's required, and it's hard to jump when you don't know exactly if you have that much time. So this is to be a way to say, hey, I'm interested in such and such, and to be able to connect you with people that can give you more information about that, and a decision, help you make the decision of what you want to do. That could be on the state level. That could be that you're interested in education and want to know what might be available that you can take on a project. So to give you some numbers, of the leadership pipeline, we had 7 people respond to that, and that wasn't pushed out hard. Of that, there were 3 attendings, 1 senior, 1 mid-level, 1 junior, 1 fellow, 1 resident, and 2 students. And even with that small response, we've been able to do very interesting things already. One of the students is going to be a student representative member of the board in Tennessee. I have another student who is from Arkansas, who is very interested already doing leadership in the EMIG, their interest group there. And thinking about maybe, since this is a virtual world, we might be able to support emergency medicine interest groups through our section by providing some lectures or small groups. Something that I have wanted to do for years, we have poster sessions that go on at the Scientific Assembly. If you've been to these poster sessions, there's lots of them, amazing pictures, interesting cases, and then after Scientific Assembly, they seem to disappear. It's almost like a ticket to Scientific Assembly, and then you don't see it again once you enter. I think there's great scholarship there. Dr. Olivia Bailey from Iowa is taking on a program. It's going to be called Poster Pearls. And we're hoping to get CME, 15-minute CME, for the posters that our women have done, sort of in the same way as Medscape has interviews. And this may be a great way to highlight what our women have done and to get 15 minutes of CME while you watch it. So these are some of the ideas that we have that we've started already. I'd like to open it. Oh, I'm sorry. We have two upcoming events. The October 22nd, IMG Virtual Mentoring. Even if you are not an IMG and this is not your area, but you have interest in some particular area that you think a small group of women would benefit by having these regular sessions, come and see how Dr. Mistel, Joelle Brown have put together the sessions, because they now have experience. And maybe you would like to lead some other group. It's a great way to see what's going on with them. And then on November 12th, we're going to try a virtual airway storytelling event. If you've been to Scientific Assembly since 2017, there has been in the evening, one of the evenings, a storytelling event where EM docs can tell stories of being an EM doc to other ones. And this is something that we share with each other. It's a great time to get to know each other. We have two people that are going to be directing this. And we have some stories already that we're thinking of telling. I have one that's sort of taken my heart over the last couple weeks, called My Mansion of Ghosts. One of our other members has suggested a title for hers, A Unicorn Like Me. And if you think, I have a great story, or there's something I want to share out with, when the next newsletter comes out next week, there's going to be a link to say that you want to tell your story, and we can get you on the agenda. If you're not sure, you can say you're not sure, and we can talk about it. But this is a great way. We have the best stories. We have so many better stories than internal medicine and family practice and podiatry that people relate to. This is why we have all the TV shows out there, and very few other specialties do. So come November 12th, share an hour with us. I think it's going to be a great way to get to know each other. And then I wanted to open this up if we have any questions from the membership or from the council, ideas of what we should be doing and looking forward to.
Hello, good afternoon. I have a quick question, mostly for the participants. I'm Dr. Wanda Cruz. Nice to meet everybody, and I'm part of the advocacy panel. I was trying to log in and I wasn't, so AAM let me in. Thank you for that. But I would like to know from the participants, what advocacy issues you feel we should be addressing, as in addition to due process, of course, as a group, because I'm part of many advocacy groups, and so I want to know what in particular you feel we should bring back to the larger groups, and more importantly to the Hill. Were you able to hear the question? I'm sorry. Okay.
So there is a reason why I've been going through the groups with the leadership and the education and the advocacy, and I have done very well with leadership, and I've done okay with education. But Juan and I were trying to get together at 6:30 tonight. This has been the hardest area for me. And so I do want to hear from people what they would want advocacy for a women in emergency medicine section. There has been some discussion on gender parity, pay equity type of things. There is issues with promotions, things with pregnancy and breastfeeding. I'm not sure where to go. So I think that this is a great question, and I want to amplify that. Where do you think the advocacy should be from this section?
So I'm reading someone, I think it's Carol Pack,
Yep.
wrote she's interested in addressing the issues of balance billing, which was, of course, the big monster on Capitol Hill right before COVID, and along came Sally. So there, balance billing went under the pressure. But I know something that's on a national level. AAEM was addressing very, and then actually all the emergency medicine, ASAP as well, was addressing balance billing. I guess we're going to have to return to that, once things settle down for COVID. But in addition, that's not going to disappear. It's going to come back to Capitol Hill. But in addition to balance billing, I want to know, as women in particular, is there anything in particular that you feel that we need to address? Because it's not ever mentioned in any of the other forums. So this is your chance.
Wanda, we did have a talk a little bit early, a few months ago with Florida and the issue with pelvic exams. Do you have any follow-up on that? Has that gone anywhere yet?
Yeah, it passed. So we are not allowed to, in the state of Florida, perform a pelvic exam without written consent, stating specifically so you get the consent to treat, and then you also need a pelvic examination. And the reason why I actually spoke with the lawyers that assisted in passing that, and the reason why it was because I guess it came to their attention that in the teaching community, we were doing pelvic examinations. Like medical students will stand on a line on patients in the OR and do pelvic examinations as a teaching process. And so they found that to be repulsive, and it didn't pass Tallahassee. Not at all. So
is that both for male and female rectal exams as well?
Yeah, anything pelvic. Yeah.
Anything pelvic.
Yeah. So I mean, it was hard to go ahead and advocate against that. When you have a group of people saying, they've violated my rights, and I didn't consent for this. I was unconscious in the OR table. It's hard for doctors to say, wait, don't do that, because you're delaying care in the ER. There's a big emotional factor to that. So forget the deep pockets. Yeah. Any other questions? Anything in particular? I mean, I could think of a few things as an ER doc. I'm a mom and I'm a woman. And I can think of a few things that we could advocate for. But I want to hear from you. And then, of course, there's other groups that want to hear as well. I'm just reading.
Do you want to throw out some of your other ideas, or there's some of the things in here on the chat about detention centers?
Yeah, I'm reading that on volunteering detention centers. I don't think there's anything, at least, I think that may be on a state-by-state basis. I don't think there's anything, at least in the state of Florida, that prohibits us from volunteering or even working in detention centers. I'm kind of interested to know what state that is. Who's this? This is Jessica. Let me just ask her. Balance billing, app legislation. What does that mean, app legislation? So it sounds like issues of women need to understand and affect all of us at AAEM. Yeah, they do. So I think we could probably take some of the feedback we're getting and then as a group prioritize these, because you really can't go to the hill with this entire list. You only have a few minutes per office, and so you really have to put the ones that you want at the top, and that's what we go for. Yeah. So you guys have to decide what you want to fight first and incorporate that into the AAEM agenda as well.
Okay. Here's the AP. Okay. And about this, if you want to be involved in the advocacy working group, please go to the Women in Emergency Medicine section on the AAEM website, and you can put in your request to join one of the working groups. So I appreciate that. Thank you for being on, Wanda.
Oh no, thank you. Sorry about the technical difficulties.
Dr. Swisher.
It's a virtual world now.
Nice to meet everyone.
Since we heard a little bit from advocacy, if you wouldn't mind, I wanted to give Dr. Schreier's a little update on the leadership group. So Crafton is one of the co-leads for the leadership group, along with Kristen Smith, who's a fourth-year resident in Einstein in Philadelphia. And they just wanted to share some of the projects that they've been working on so that people who may be interested in joining the leadership group know what they're really working on. So there's three main things that they've been working on. One was mentioned by Dr. Swisher, which was awards. We definitely know that there's not enough women who are being nominated or really winning awards in AAEM, and they're planning on developing an educational webinar about awards along with the Q&A about the actual nomination process. And this will likely be held around the opening of the nomination period so that people sort of get excited and start to promote other women and nominate them for these awards. The second thing that they are really working on is a leadership series, which I think will be very interesting. They're developing different talks on different topics related to leadership, for instance, negotiation or work-life balance, how to be a great public speaker, policy making, so sort of different topics that may be interesting to different people. And they're aiming to start this in the first half of next year. And then the third thing that they're working on is creating newsletter articles that are related to leadership that will come out in our Women in EM monthly newsletter. And any member is really welcome to suggest an article or write an article if they're interested in. And this is a good way to get your name out there and get other people's names out there. And they're welcome any section members joining the leadership group, of course. So.
So now that I'm able to go through the panelists here, I was not able to get that up before. Molly Estes, do you want to speak about education at all? Can we turn her on? Here we go.
Can anyone hear me?
We got you now.
Wonderful. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to talk. I'm sorry. I wasn't 100% certain I was going to be able to make the call. So I apologize for my awkward participation. I am one of the co-leads for the education working group. It's wonderful to be part of this incredible endeavor and this incredible group of women. We are planning on tackling a few different education topics, education slants to women in emergency medicine, including working with the bigger AAEM board in order to build out some women and gender specific topics within the online education portal that AAM has already been designing and building, as well as continuing to develop many of the other newsletter and podcast ideas that have already come about as ideas out of this incredible group. So we are in the working stages. I thank everybody who has signed up for the education working group. I know that particularly from an education perspective, it is an extremely busy time of year right now, with everyone finishing up SLOs for medical students, as well as trying to figure out how in the world we're going to do virtual interviews for our residency programs. And I just thank everyone and ask you to please bear with us and have some patience. And over the next 4 to 6 weeks, we expect to really get some of these projects up and off the ground. So again, it is a pleasure to be part of this incredible group.
Thank you so much, Molly. Are there any other updates, questions, thoughts? Just please put it in the chat. I'll give this another minute here or so. Okay, well, I appreciate everybody being here tonight to give a good start to what I had hoped to be was our Phoenix start. But now we have had the chance to meet each other, and we've begun a new chapter for women in emergency medicine. We're at 882. I know we're going to get over 1,000 before the end of the year. I really think that we have something special started here. So thank you for spending your evening. Certainly send anything that you had interests in and participate. Join with us. Let us create something amazing. So thanks. And we'll call that an evening. Have a good night.